Hey, afternoon, how's everybody today? Listen, we're going to go through some of the contracts that we've been trying to put together. Of course, the ones that we utilize right now is on dotloop. So one of the things that we're going to be doing here is I'm going to be sharing my screen with you a little bit on just basically how you get to dotloop, because I think we get a lot of people who have been asking the question, okay, Tom, great, I understand this, but how do I get there in the first place? First thing I like to point out is it's at dotloop.com. You should have already gotten your permission and your sign-in passwords and so forth like that, your login from the MCA office. And for sake of conversation, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because we really want to get to some of the contracts, and those are on some further videos that I've taken. But this is probably the easiest one for you guys to make sure that you know where you're going to get your contracts, okay? So you're going to sign in, and you should be able to put in your credentials that you received already from the MCA office. I'm going to go ahead and sign in. Okay. One of the things that it does naturally is it will bring you back to the loops, and the loops are where you put your contracts themselves. So it'll bring you up to my loops here in a minute as soon as it gets going. There we go. And you can see right across the top about reporting, loops, tasks, people, and templates across the top of the board. Here's some, this is what my loops look like. One thing I like to always point out to everybody that when you add a loop up here, creating a new loop, you basically are going to put in the address of the property that you're working on. That helps everybody. You know, don't be putting in there my brother's house or, you know, my girlfriend's house or Bill and Jean Mary's house, whatever it may be. Utilize the address itself, because at the end of the day, when compliance and the other people get into this saying, you know, they're going to go to that ID. So always, whenever you add a loop, add in the address of the property itself, okay? I'll open this up just so you can see all the different agreement that you're going to be working on. And that's really prior, you know, this is after the fact of all the, where you actually are going to get the contracts themselves. So you can see, there you go. That's what it kind of looks like. You can see right off the bat, these are all movable. So you can move them around a little bit like that. You can see this is a purchase agreement, okay? You'll also see a lot of them right over here that says sign. That means that they've already gone through the process of getting electronic signatures. But we're not going to worry too much about this at this point, because more importantly, from where you're starting out, you want to know exactly where did you get all those loops, Tom. So the easiest way to look at that, if you look across this board itself, you'll see the loops, which take you back and it'll show you all the loops you have, as I showed you in mine. There's always somewhat of a delay, it seems, whenever you're on Zoom, so got to bear with me a little bit on it. So there's loops. As we move through other software programs down the road, they may be named different, but whatever loops itself shows you all of the agreements I have that I'm working on. Okay, task, you will be utilizing it, but more so you can use tasks for things that you need there. Compliance uses this quite a bit, okay? People are going to give you a way to set up people and your contacts. I'm not going to go into too much detail at this point with that, but I will tell you this, that anytime you do a loop and it's two people or more in the party, we'll just start with two people at this point. At the very minimum, you need their name as well as their email. And when I'm talking to my clients, I'm always asking them, tell me how you take your legal documents. For example, my name is Tom Trujillo, but my legal documents, I've always said, is Thomas P. Trujillo. My email address is tom@trujillo.com. My wife's name legally is Leonora Trujillo, and her email is mleonora@gmail.com. Those are the two factors that you need to make sure you have, because every document that they sign electronically, they cannot just sign it on one email address. If there's two parties involved, It will always require both, okay? So this is just kind of a summary of what we're working on. What you'll be doing as a new broker, if you've not already done this, is that you will be going through training with our compliance officer. And she will give you step-by-step training of the forms you need. The reason I'm doing this little kind of summary one is, first of all, I'm constantly called, or emailed or text, Tom, where do I find this? Where do I find this document? Or I'm doing a condo. What more do I need? If you look on the left-hand side of the templates itself, and that's that funny little box up there, it is, the template. It takes you to this page, template, and you'll see right up here, okay, gonna fuss with me a little bit. You'll see right up here, all these folders. All these folders have exactly the kind of listing that you may want. If you look at listing standard packet, click on it. There you go. There's everything that you would need more than likely on a listing, or excuse me, of a listing packet, correct. You're going to do a brand new listing. This is everything that you're going to need in it for the most part. Naturally, if you're not in Farmington, we'll show you later, that's going to be archived. I don't want to get into that. But here is your basic listing package that you need. And right there, you'll see your listing agreement, first and foremost, okay? You'll also see a number of the other things that are in gray. What that means is that it's not uploaded on the template because naturally all MLSs that you're looking through Paragon are different. So it's going to require an upload, okay? Same thing with estimated property tax. It's not a standard. It's something you're going to be going to the county assessor's website and you're going to upload that. We'll do that in other forms training as well. But for the most part, everything else is pretty much there, including the most recent ones that we're dealing with is with the coronavirus hold harmless agreements. So these things change back and forth throughout. So if you're doing that, there's your standard packet that you would load, okay? If you go further down, let's say you're doing an HOA, click on HOA. This would also more than likely need to be uploaded in your loop. There's the items in for an HOA, the disclosure, a sheet, information sheet, an addendum to the purchase agreement. Let's say that you're out in the El Dorado area or you're out in the Lamy area. You know this property has a septic. It may even have a well. Those are additional documents that you need. Constantly, the same thing with the condominium. So they've done it very nicely that you're going to start off with a standard packet for listing. You're more than likely going to have to add additional addendums based on the kind of property you're selling, okay? Now, if you have a purchase agreement, everybody goes, oh, where's the purchase? Where's the purchase? Purchase is under contract. We could have put PA, but it's under contract. And there you go, standard purchase agreement that you're going to be dealing with. There they all are, right there. So there's your purchase agreement. There's your amendment. Same thing, there's a checklist throughout. Same thing happens if you're buying a property or purchasing, you're representing the buyer, and you know that they have well or septic. There it is. These are things more than likely that you will have to include onto your loop as well. So that kind of gives you an idea. So I'm just going to do one quick brief one for you guys. We're going to go back to the loop. So it takes a little time. I apologize. That's Zoom for you. And we're going to start off with add a loop. I like it come up here. Add a loop. And we're going to call it address 123. Oops, let's put it right here. 123 anywhere in Santa Fe, New Mexico, 87501. Okay, so we have it. So that is the property address, and that is what's going to identify your loop every time around. You're going to hit the continue button. Right here is where it says loop template. That was the other page that we were on. Select a loop template. You're going to click right on there. And we're going to say it's a purchase loop. And when you hit continue, it's going to ask you to upload a photo. You can do that. At this point, we're not going to. We're just going to say done. And it is creating the loop automatically for you. So there you go. There it is, a purchase. We can view the loop. And right up there, 123 anywhere in Santa Fe. There it is, a purchase agreement. There's for Farmington. That's probably not the one we're going to be using. We got a checklist for the one in Santa Fe. Your purchase agreement, boom, 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 all the way down. Okay. So, for example, when you get to the situation like that, you know that's not yours. All you got to do is archive it. That's the word for delete. Nothing ever goes away in a contract. And the reason it is for the compliance aspect. Something goes south, we land up being in court, nothing's gone. It's there forever. So that's where that is. Concerns me a little bit. I was just looking at this particular one. This is a purchase one for the main docs. Let's see if we can find it. It doesn't show me at this point the checklist. So this is how you get it. You just add a document, go back to templates, and let's just open up, we were doing a purchase, right? Okay. We're going to go to the standard packet. We're going to open that up. There it is. There's the 2020 purchase checklist. We're going to click on that, copy it. And it's now been imported to your loop right there. One of the things that I do is I open that up, and right there and there, this is how you stay in compliance, and this is how you get paid in a very quick manner. Okay. We're not going to autofill at this point. That's for a little further education working with compliance. But there you go. This is it. These are all the items that you need at the very minimum. So they should be matching everything that you've got in your loop. I personally still use a little bit of paper. I keep a paper file because sometimes that's easier to work with, depending with your client. But at the very least, print this out. Put the name of you and the property address again, and you won't miss out. You make sure that all those items are being taken care of. So again, back to the, so that kind of gives you a quick idea of how that looks. There's your back arrows all the way. Trying to get back out. And there are those times that you may need just a standalone document, and you're saying, hey, I need document 2100. If you go to templates, and if you scroll all the way down to the very bottom, you will see NMAR interactive documents. If you click on that, what that's going to do is it will give you every document that NMAR has, and there's a bunch, as you can see. Something that may happen to you is you might get yourself up a dialog box right in the middle asking you for your NARD number, okay, your ID number. That's the one that you know that you actually utilize. You can search it on NARD, or you might even have the card that gives you your NARD number. That's what identifies you in the National Association of Realtors to make you a realtor. So just fill that out, hit submit, and boom, all these things will populate. So like I was saying, so if you're looking for Form 2100, because you went ahead and hired a TC after the fact, if you put 2100 in here, see, there you go. There they all are. This is 2100A, 2100, and 2100 again. There's for the buyer. This is for the listing side, if I'm not mistaken. They're both the same anyway. And that's just the Exhibit A for when you actually have decided to hire a transaction broker itself. Doesn't matter what it is, but specifically when you're looking for a simple form, there it is. Oh, this is actually the info sheet of what it is, okay? So that kind of ties that up a little bit, guys, just to help you get started of knowing where your loops and your forms are and so forth like that. I hate to tell you, but we will be changing at some point on over to DocuSign. That hasn't quite happened for us yet, but it will in due course. And I've looked at it, and truthfully, it's not much different. And in some respects, it's actually easier. But we'll be getting all that through command as time goes on. But at the very least, that's just kind of what I wanted to show you today of how you access your contracts in DocuSign, okay? The next thing that we'll be working on is the actual contracts themselves. So have a good day. Bye-bye.